What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Classic Chronicles. I hope everybody enjoyed their weekend and is ready to conquer the week that is. And man, to get this week started, man, we're gonna be talking about Elimination Chamber, man. So it went down this past Saturday morning. If you were in the United States, man, so it went down at 5 a.m. my time on the East Coast. Then it went down at 4 a.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Pacific, 2 a.m. Pacific Time, and so on and so forth, man. But it took place at 5 o'clock in the morning due to the time difference in Perth, Australia, which is where the pay per view was held. Yeah, so like let's just get to it, man. Very hot opener on the kickoff show. You had Indy Hartwell, Australia's own Indy Hartwell, I should say, and teaming up with Candice LeRae to take on the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, representing Damage Control, and you know. Despite the crowd being very hot for Indy Hartwell, it wasn't enough to get the job done as Asuka and Kairi Sane retained the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. And it'll be interesting to see how long they hold on to those Tag Team Championships because this Friday night on SmackDown, they'll be taking on their former Damage Control stablemates, Bailey and Dakota Kai, for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. So we're gonna have to see how that goes. But nevertheless, cool opener. Crowd was really hot, and they kind of stayed hot all night. There's always something great about the international crowds, man. Since the WWE doesn't come to their markets too often, every time they do, it's always a spectacle, and it's always good to see a hot crowd. And that's what you feed off of when you're in there. I can tell you from experience. But yeah, so nevertheless, very fun opener. But and to kick off the main show, you had the Women's Elimination Chamber match featuring Naomi, Gonzalez, Raquel Rodriguez, whatever. And we all know she's Raquel Gonzalez. But anyway, Raquel Rodriguez, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, Becky Lynch, and Liv Morgan. This Women's Elimination Chamber match was to determine the number one contender for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania. So Tiffany Stratton was very impressive in the Elimination Chamber. She made her debut in there. She was very impressive, but ultimately she ended up coming up short, and Becky Lynch ended up picking up the win inside the Elimination Chamber. And she will now face Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, and she will now, yeah, Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. I just spoiled the last match, but anyway, yeah, no, she will now compete for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania. Yeah, so, and before I hear, Becky has gotten enough shots, and why don't you give somebody else a shot? I mean, realistically, out of the field of the women that were in there, who else realistically has a shot at taking on Rhea Ripley, the Women's World Championship, and what is a bigger marquee matchup than Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch for WrestleMania 40? I mean, I'll wait. Tiffany Stratton, she'll get there. She's competed for the Women's World Championship. For the NXT Championship, and she was a former NXT champion and faced Becky Lynch, but that it's too early in her main roster career for her to be on a big stage and on a championship match at WrestleMania 40. She just got called up after the Royal Rumble, and as for Naomi, still again, she'll probably have a match at WrestleMania 40, but Becky Lynch was the only viable option here, seeing as seeing as a couple of them were SmackDown superstars. Um, Bianca Belair, uh, Bianca Belair. Who else is a SmackDown superstar? In there. Tiffany Stratton and Naomi were all SmackDown superstars, so a Raw superstar had to win it, and the Raw superstars, which are Raquel Rodriguez, Becky Lynch, and Liv Morgan. Um, that's Becky was the only viable option, but who knows what could happen after WrestleMania? Could feud win any one of those ladies. But anyway, that was the women's elimination chamber. But the second match on the card was for the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championship, which saw Finn Balor and Damian Priest of the Judgment Day defending against the New Catch Republic, which is Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. And this, in my opinion, was the best match of the night. I mean, these two just went at it, man. Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, always been a huge fan of their work. And the Judgment Day, of course, probably one of the hottest acts in WWE right now. Damian Priest and Finn Balor, especially Damian Priest, man. Say what you want about the guy, love him or hate him, man. The guy just shows up every night and does whatever is asked of him without any hesitation, and that's all you can do. And it's funny. It's a funny tidbit that R-Truth wasn't at the Elimination Chamber event in the Judgment Day's corner, because instead of going to Australia for the event, he went to Austria, which is a totally different country. And it's funny that they mentioned that Michael Cole and Corey Graves mentioned that on TV. It was hilarious. And also, man. I think Finn Balor might have injured his thumb or hand in some way, because he kept holding it after the match and it didn't look very well. But hopefully he's okay. But yeah, Finn Balor and Damian Priest went on to retain the WWE Tag Team Undisputed Tag Team Championships. So yeah, and then you had a segment, the Grayson Waller Effect. Where Grayson Waller, Australia's own Grayson Waller, had some special guests. Austin Theory was out there with him, and he had Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Them talking about their paths to WrestleMania 40, and then eventually Austin Theory, kind of making fun of Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, which led to Seth Rollins beating the crap out of Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes beating the crap out of Austin Theory, and instead of Grayson Waller saving him, which I found kind of funny. Yeah, kind of funny. He just kind of sat there and watched it happen, because Grayson Waller was kind of the baby face in this situation, so he was just watching the other baby faces, Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, beat up on Austin Theory. But man, nevertheless, a great segment. Austin Theory is very entertaining, and so is Grayson Waller. Say what you want about him again, but the man has had a hell of a year. Has had a hell of a year on the main roster. I mean, went up against Edge in one of his final matches in WWE at Madison Square Garden. I was privileged enough to witness that one live, and Grayson Waller really showed something that night. And he's been doing his thing. So I see great things for Grayson Waller in his future in WWE. But next up was the men's elimination chamber match, which this would determine Seth Rollins' challenger for the WWE World Championship at WrestleMania. And you had Randy Orton, LA Knight, Logan Paul, Kevin Owens, and Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre, all vying for a shot at Seth Rollins and his WWE World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 40. And Drew McIntyre ended up picking up the win inside the chamber, and he will now go on to face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, but for the WWE World Championship. But that is not all that happened in the Elimination Chamber match. I mean, you've got the potential for two other WrestleMania 40 matchups. Uh, Taking shape inside the Elimination Chamber as LA Knight got cost. AJ Styles cost LA Knight the Elimination Chamber match by interfering and just putting a whooping on AJ Styles, and despite not being advertised for the show, the guy flew 18 hours just to put a whooping on one of his most hated rivals recently, which is a cool twist. But and also you have Randy Orton potentially facing Logan Paul for the WWE United States Championship at WrestleMania 40 because Logan Paul Randy had eliminated Logan Paul from the Elimination Chamber, and Logan Paul got his revenge by hitting Randy Orton in the face with brass knuckles, causing Drew McIntyre to pin Randy Orton and pick up the win inside the chamber. So yeah, definitely potential WrestleMania 40 matches there. We'll just have to see what happens. Maybe they'll be made official in the coming weeks. We are less than a little bit of a little month and change away from WrestleMania, so obviously the card has to take shape on the last pay-per-view stop before WrestleMania. And then, of course, the main event, believe it or not, the main event was Rhea Ripley taking on Nia Jax for the WWE Women's World Championship. And I'm not saying believe it or not because not that the women don't deserve the main event. I'm saying believe it or not because there was only 5 matches on the card. So yeah, that's, like I said, quality over quantity. And obviously, Rhea Ripley got the biggest ovation of the night, and it was honestly weird. Well, no, not weird actually, because even though she's a heel, and heels are not meant to be cheered by definition, but it's cool to see how she's over everywhere in the world, but in Australia, it's a whole nother level, man. It's like she's rock star status over there, and I can say the same thing for Grayson Waller and Indy Hartwell. They love, Australia loves their homegrown stars, man, and it definitely showed during this match. And huge shout out to the cameraman for getting that shot of Rhea Ripley's ass when Nia Jax was holding her in a Boston Crab, man, and Jesus. But huge shout out to the cameraman, or the camera person, I should say, because it could have been a lady, who knows? But they deserve a raise. And no, nevertheless, in all seriousness, great matchup between the two, and Rhea Ripley came out on top with Nia Jax, and like I said, she'll go on to defend the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania 40 against Becky Lynch. So it'll be interesting to see how their road to WrestleMania shapes up. And Rhea Ripley is doing big things, man. Not only is she the Women's World Championship for more than a year now, or almost a year. What do you call it? She also has the cover of WWE 2K24, the deluxe edition, her along with Bianca Belair. So, man, major props to the women of WWE, and yeah, great show in general, man. It was well worth waking up at 5 a.m. to watch it. So yeah, major props to the WWE for another great pay-per-view. But yeah, that is going to do it for this episode of the Classic Chronicles. Like, subscribe, share. Don't forget to hit that notification button so you don't miss a video. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.